So entrepreneurship can be a roller coaster. You don't know when the next twist and turn is, you don't know when the next up and down is. And also, it's really easy to get caught up in the hustle. And so what I've learned personally starting my own business with ACE is that this is more of a long-term game rather than a short-term game. And it's definitely a marathon and not a sprint. And so I really need to actually take care of myself mindfully and physically in order for me to be in like my full top shape in order to run this thing, in order to get there and get there at the end successfully. And I've heard stories where people have just been burning out from being in the hustle and just doing the business without actually taking care and taking time of themselves throughout the day. And yeah, there's a lot of things you have to do, but at the same time, you're the one who's running the show, whether it's a small business or a big business. And ultimately, you need to take care of yourself in order for your business to succeed, in order for your business to run. So I thought I'd share with you a couple of things that I've started doing and actually just been learning and picking up along the way in terms of ways to actually help factor in mindfulness and factor in sort of health benefits in order to keep me in my top best shape so that I can do my best for the day and do my best for the business and the people that I'm trying to serve. So I personally believe that there are two parts of the day that really makes the most impact in someone's outlook in the day and sort of their productivity, and that is the morning and the evening. And I think I'm more so going to focus more on the morning because how we start our day really actually gears us towards, and our psychology towards, success. There's so much research done at the moment about actually how the external world can affect our psychology, and the external world can subconsciously affect our outlook of the day, as simple down to the temperature of a drink, depending on if a stranger hands it to you or not. It's just crazy how we think we have so much control over our lives and so much control over our day when actually we have pretty much zero control of what happens. And yet actually, if we consciously and focus our attention on how we start our day, we're more likely to actually achieve so much more, and we're more likely to actually make the most out of our day. And so I like to make sure that my morning is made with purpose. I actually have a purposeful morning, and that my morning is not just me waking up, but it's me actually consciously choosing what to focus my mind on. There's a whole long list of to-dos and emails, etc. And I make sure that I don't actually touch my phone when I wake up. I try and actually be mindful and really factor in 3 simple habits that really gear myself up towards the day. And that is making sure that I'm drinking enough water. So I actually drink a whole bottle of water initially when I wake up. And then secondly, actually visualize what I want to achieve and actually know what I want to achieve. And thirdly, really just doing some simple breath work to try and just tie my mind and my heart and my physical body together, because again, there is lots of research between our mind and our body connection, and how actually the more we are in line with those 2 things, the more likely we are to achieve what we want to achieve, and the more we're better actually going to be functioning. So yeah, I highly recommend you to just choose 3 things, and it doesn't actually have to be what I do. It could be anything. It could be journaling, it could be just going for a run, it could be meditation, or just sort of a gratitude journal, whatever it is, but actually give yourself a morning that's set for purpose, and a morning more geared towards you realigning your mind and your body connection, and then so that you're able to then focus and feel more grounded to get through towards the day. And something else that I think a lot of us as entrepreneurs or new business owners being really, really busy actually neglect on, and that is nourishment and nutrients. Another reason why I make sure I drink a bottle of water the first thing when I wake up is that, but actually I realize that there's a lot of times whereby I can just go and do work and forget to hydrate myself and feed my body with the nutrients. Because again, our mind doesn't actually work and our bodies don't function if we're not looking after it. But other than just being hydrated, nourishment and nutrients matter. So what we choose to eat, how we choose to eat it, whether we're eating it running around or it's just sort of a bite of a sandwich here and there, rather than actually sitting down and having a mindful meal and having a full nutritious meal to fuel our body. I think what I've really started to force myself to do is actually, no matter how busy I am, there's always going to be work to do. But actually, I don't actually have life left if I'm just going to push myself like this. And I really need to be healthy and be alive for a long period of time in order to care for myself, care for the people that I love, and really to put my all into my business in order for that to then impact the world. There's a quote saying people with health have a lot of wishes, but someone without health only has one, and that is really to be healthy. So without health, we can't do anything, we can't achieve anything. So it's important to actually take care of ourselves and make sure that our body and our minds are functioning at tip-top shape. And thirdly, what I've been trying to do is something called a mindfulness squeeze, and that is basically factoring in a minute or 2 of mindfulness throughout my day in between tasks. I'm not generally someone who likes to write in a journal and write about my feelings and write a lot of things. I feel like I don't have the time. B, I don't really want to use that time for that. But C, I just don't feel like that works for me. Whereas, however, I do feel like factoring in breath work in between just to really calm my senses down has been really helpful. There is a lot of research to suggest how deep breathing can help reduce cortisol levels and increase happiness hormones. And I think when we're stressed out and there's so much to do and we're just trying to figure out what to do in our heads, a lot of the time we actually aren't aware that we're breathing very shallowly, and shallow breathing doesn't get enough oxygen to the lungs, doesn't supply your bloodstream, and then doesn't sort of fuel your body and all the cells in your body to keep it healthy. Whereas actually at the same time making sure that taking deep breaths is really helpful to counteract that, and really it also helps counteract stress, which then releases happy hormones, which makes us more productive and gears our mind towards better focus. That's kind of what I like to do, and just in between 1 or 2 minutes, 1 or 2 tasks, I like to just take a couple of deep breaths, breathe in for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, and breathe out for 4 seconds. And I do that just a couple of times before I move on to the next thing, and that really just helps bring back the groundedness in me. At the end of the day, I also try and do a little bit of I call it a gratitude journal, but it's basically just 3 bullet points that I ask myself, which is what am I grateful for, what have I learned today, and what have I achieved today. And I think just doing that also helps me celebrate the little wins and just remind myself that there are a lot of things to be grateful for, even if the day's been crap. But there are actually things that life gives you that is a gift, and even problems are a gift for you to build your resilience or for you to build your creativity. And that's again how I end my day. As I said, that there are 2 parts of the day that I think makes the most impact, and I'll make sure that I end my evening on a positive note. But yeah, generally speaking, I think mindfulness doesn't have to be, you know, an hour of sitting with your legs crossed and saying Om. Mindfulness can be just factoring in some spacing out time for a minute, or listening to a bit of music, or just some deep breaths throughout the day. I think those are actually very healthy practices in order to reduce stress and actually to increase your happiness, your joy, and also your productivity throughout. And just going on the same topic as mindfulness, I think it's also important to have once in a while a digital detox. It's not uncommon for the phone to just keep pinging with notifications, whether it's a new text, a new email, a new message, and it can be really distracting and can really take your focus off whatever you're doing at hand. And what I've been trying to do actually is that I basically put my phone on airplane mode so that I'm not actually focusing on something else and redirecting my focus, and just actually really focusing and concentrating on that one thing that I'm working on. I think sometimes having a digital detox is really, really helpful to just ground yourself and not sort of distract yourself in any way, and really get yourself focused on whatever it is you're doing, even if that's actually looking after yourself for self-care, etc. I think that's really helpful. And finally, really, for those of you who know me, know that I don't like to to-do lists because they're just basically useless. You end up adding more and you can never end up completing it. So I like to block time, but actually rather than a to-do list, I think it's also helpful to do something called a to-don't list. There's a principle in business that says that you should put your energy in the 20% of what actually creates 80% of the outcome and the result. And a lot of the time when we're running through a day, you know, it's not just juggling a business, it's also juggling life, isn't it? A lot of the itty bitty things aren't the 20% that creates the 80%. It's really more the 80% of time that creates only 5% of results. And so it's important to actually know what we should and shouldn't be doing, and it's more important to actually know what we shouldn't be doing. So having a to-do list is actually really, really important. Looking at what you need to accomplish that day, and actually what can you delegate, what can you give to someone else, what can you actually not do that takes your time up, where you can then focus on the things that actually matter. And then when you're not just constantly chasing your tail and constantly looking at what you need to do and focusing on the little tasks that don't actually create much results, it's going to really decrease your stress levels, really allow you to then focus on things that matter, and then makes you happier, and then you're more mindful, and then generally you can run the business a lot better and run life better as well. But yeah, just remember that your well-being is actually the foundation of the success of your business. So by factoring some mindfulness and some practices into your daily routine, not only will you be more productive and effective as a leader, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a family member, you'd also be a lot happier and have a lot more joy and actually enjoy the whole process so much more. So if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button below. We're all individuals, but we're all in this journey together, and it's as a collective and as a community. I have also an Instagram account to build that community for new entrepreneurs and new business owners, just to have that community and that support for one another, because this can also be a bit of a lonely journey. So again, if you're interested, don't forget to join the club and join the community down below. The link is down there. And yeah, until the next one, do stay happy, stay healthy, good luck on the business with everything, and do share your thoughts. Take care. Bye.